Hi guys and welcome to another Fool of the Week. This week's Fool is a guy called Jas, who phoned into the Ben Kentish show. So there was a report published recently that claimed that the white British population will be a minority 40 years from now. The likes of Reform UK and the far right have jumped on this to claim that an invasion is taking place and perhaps some pushback is needed. But let's get to Jas. He claims to be British but from an Indian background. However, he gets angry with fellow Indians claiming to be English. Now, Ben Kentish challenges the caller and it all goes a bit downhill, but I will explain in a moment why I think it's all pretty much nonsensical.
I'm really speaking from an Indian person, British Indian. I'm proudly British, fiercely British, love it. I can't stand it when Indians say they are English. It really, really frustrates me. I'll tell you why. I will say to them, look at yourself in the mirror, get a picture of your parents and look at them. Are your parents Indian or not? Yes, they are. My friend, you are Indian. Just because you're born in a country doesn't mean you are that.
They're born in Britain. That means they are British, no?
Yes, British, yes, I agree with that. But you
if they
are
were born in
look at
England,
your DNA.
they were English.
Go get a DNA test, and what would that come back and say? You're coming from that part of the world. You're
Okay,
Indian.
so how? Okay, fine. So how many generations back do we have to go before we say, yeah, okay, you are pure English enough? You know, you got my granddad was Scottish. What am I? I'm an quarter Scottish.
I would personally identify, if I was you, there's a quarter Scottish. That would be part of you, who you are. Now, if you then choose to say you're English, that's your choice. But you're not.
But I am.
Look at your DNA line and stuff. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm a sort of. If we look at my DNA line, Jas, I was sort of emerged out of the swampy bog of the River Ribble.
This is so ridiculous, this entire argument. It completely falls apart as soon as you start asking a few questions like, where does it begin? Or where does it end? Okay, there's a few things to say. First of all, Jas is talking about India. There are people alive today who were born before Pakistan became a state. Pakistan became a state in 1947. It was then, before it became a state, it was part of India. So what are those people? Are they Indian or are they Pakistani? This is why it's so ridiculous. You know, a line on a map does not define your ethnic background. It defines your nationality, but not your ethnic background. That's why it doesn't make any sense to say, well, you know, this person is pure English. Look, there have been the population is changing. It changes through invasion, but it also changes through migration. So I don't hear many people on the far right complaining about the Norman invasion of 1066, which replaced the the Anglo-Saxons. I don't hear many of them complaining about the Viking invasion that took place before that. These invasions took place and they changed the population. But the population also changes through migration. And I don't hear many on the far right complaining about the migrations that took place from France, from the Low Countries, from Italy during the Middle Ages. Don't hear them complaining about the Jewish migration that took place in the 11th century and then again in the 17th century. Or what about the Huguenots, that migration that took place in the 17th and 18th century? And I believe that Nigel Farage claims to descend from the Huguenots. Then there was the Indian and African migrations in the 18th and 19th century, which were a result, of course, of the expansion of the British Empire. We had the Irish and Italian migrations that took place in the 19th century, and again, the Irish migration that took place in the 20th century. So populations change all the time. But this idea that someone can be pure English, well, then the question has to be asked, what is the criteria? Is it one grandparent? Is it a great-grandparent? What if it's a great-grandparent on your father's side, but on your mother's side, this person came from another country? Like if your great-grandfather was English and your great-grandmother was Russian, can you claim to be English? Like the idea you just look in the mirror doesn't make any sense. And it shouldn't be important. What should be important is what's on your passport. That's the real value there. And unfortunately, since Brexit, the British passport isn't even the best passport in the United Kingdom. Because as we know, in Northern Ireland, you can claim an Irish passport, which is an EU passport. In Scotland, there is the concept of civic nationalism, where you come to Scotland, you follow the rules, you respect the culture, you integrate, and you're Scottish. And they don't care about what you look like. And I think this is much more important than this idea of looking in the mirror. Because even looking in the mirror for somebody who was born before 1947, well, are they Pakistani or are they Indian? Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.